What's going on, everybody? Ryan from the Canadian Football Countdown here, bringing you the first episode of our little mini series leading up to CFL Free Agency Day. We're going to preview each of the positions one a day here, taking a look at the options available and the teams that might need to fill some slots, make some upgrades at those positions. We'll break it all down day by day and start off with the quarterback position here today. Leading all up to our big CFL Free Agent Frenzy show, February 14th, 2023, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. We will be here, 8 hours of live coverage and analysis, opening of CFL Free Agency 2023. You can join us live on a variety of different platforms. We'll be live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and the Game Time TV YouTube page, thanks to our presenting sponsor. So make sure you subscribe ahead of time, follow us on these platforms, and join us for the big free agency show. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we've got a lot of content planned for that, so look forward to that. But for now, let's talk quarterbacks here today. I'll switch over the screens, pull up our fancy little free agent tracker here, and there it is. Let's take a look at the quarterbacks available. Here they are for you. A couple of names already off the market over the past couple of weeks. Bo Levi Mitchell, possibly the biggest one with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They traded for him earlier in the offseason. They re-signed him to a 3-year deal, so he's sticking around with the Ticats. The Ticats also re-signing Matthew Schultz, who was their backup quarterback last year, bringing him back, and Nick Arbuckle re-upping with the Ottawa Red Blacks earlier this week as well. So that leaves this is the cream of the crop here at quarterback available. McLeod Bethel Thompson was one of the top passers in the league last season, led the Toronto Argonauts to a Grey Cup. He has indicated he is wanting to play again this season, but he is exploring, according to, I believe it's Farhan Lalji, reporting that he is looking at potential opportunities in the United States first, and if not, then is looking to come back to the Argos. So could he be coming back to Toronto, or will Toronto have to look elsewhere for their starter this year? Trevor Harris seems like the relationship between him and the Montreal Alouettes is deteriorating, and it looks like he is going to be heading to the market, with reports that Saskatchewan is heavily pursuing Trevor Harris, which is no surprise because looks like they are moving on from Cody Fajardo, who is the number 3 ranked free agent available here at quarterback. Again, same thing. The relationship last season between Fajardo and the Riders was not great. Looks like he will be heading to the market, teammate, or if they strike out on one of these other options, could we see him go back to the Riders? Then we get into a couple of backups, third-string options here. Caleb Evans started some games for the Red Blacks in 2022, but ended up getting replaced by Nick Arbuckle later on. Obviously, Jeremiah Mazzoli was the starter initially before going down. Antonio Pipkin, third string in BC last season for him. A good short yardage quarterback there. Dominic Davis, same situation, third string quarterback in Montreal last year. Really focused in the short yardage area there as well. Also, the same thing with Dakota Prukop, that short yardage specialist for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And Michael O'Connor, the only Canadian quarterback available on the free agent market, was the backup quarterback behind Nathan Rourke going into last season in BC. Rourke goes down. Vernon Adams Jr. gets traded for, comes in. He takes over the starting role. O'Connor did get in for one game there as a start, but did leave due to injury, and then was not able to get back into the lineup later on there for BC. So that's who we have available on the free agent market. Let's take a look at the players under contract right now for each team at the quarterback position. BC, they've got Vernon Adams locked in as their starter. Nathan Rourke has gone off to the NFL with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And BC did a great job of last year bringing in VA, not only for last season, but also for this year on a really cheap contract, I believe. So, he had some up and down performances last season, but, he's big play VA. He has the potential to lead an explosive offense, and with some of the weapons they have at wide receiver, I think could be in for a good season. You've got a couple of guys, Vadley, Braylon Smith there, also on the depth chart, but I think the Lions are going to be a team that's looking for a proven backup quarterback here. TSN's Farhan Lalji reporting that they've made an offer to Dominic Davis to potentially be their backup quarterback. Of course, the negotiation window has started. Teams can start negotiating with other teams' free agents, but they cannot officially sign them to deals until free agency opens on 2023 as free agency day, which is February 14th. The Calgary Stampeders are electing to go with Jake Maier as their starter this year. They elect, their future Hall of Fame quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell, was replaced halfway through the season as the starter by Jake Maier, and they're rolling with him as the starter into this year, signing him to a contract through 2024. He had 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions last season. A decent season for Jake Maier. I'm excited to see what he can bring for them this year. Tommy Stevens had a productive year as that third down, that third string goal line running back, quarterback. Also, final game of the year, got in for a little play time there as well. Had a huge rushing game in that one. Who can forget his super long touchdown run there? He is brought back for another year this year. Will they go with him as the backup or look to bring in potentially a veteran option at that position, to support Jake Maier here? Coming into his first full year as the starter is a question that remains to be seen. For the Edmonton Elks, Taylor Cornelius, similarly, the team put some faith in him and signed him to a contract through 2024. He had a decent season last year as well. Obviously has to get that completion percentage up, just 57% for him completion-wise last year, and a bit better of a touchdown interception ratio. But I think he showed a lot in the mobile quarterback department. His rushing ability was there. His passing was getting a little better last year. I'm hoping we see a little more out of Taylor Cornelius this season. But it's Chris Jones and the Edmonton Elks. You never know what you're going to get from Chris Jones. Trey Ford, draft pick 2022, Canadian quarterback. They're obviously high on him. He did get to play a couple of games last year before going down due to injury. Could we see him get more of a role this year for the Elks? And Kyle Oxley, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, you name it. The Kai of all trades, who lined up mostly at wide receiver last season. I know he got an NFL look or two, but he is still currently under contract with the Elks here as well. I would like to think they're set with what they have. I'm excited with what they have at the quarterback position. But again, it's Chris Jones. You never know if he's going to go out there and make a splash on free agency day. The Hamilton Tiger Cats have locked in Bo Levi Mitchell as their starting quarterback for the foreseeable future with the next 3 seasons under contract for him. They also, like I mentioned earlier, brought back Matt Schultz to be their backup quarterback, but they've still got Dane Evans under contract here for this upcoming season. Evans had a rough year last year, up and down, couldn't hold on to the ball, 16 interceptions for him. It's safe to say his time in Hamilton is pretty much done, with Mitchell being brought in, Schultz being, brought back to be the backup here. So while he's not on the free agent list currently, Dane Evans is definitely a name to watch for other teams maybe looking to make a move at the quarterback position. I know he's been obviously linked a lot to the Saskatchewan Roughriders over the past couple of weeks, but if they're going to go the Trevor Harris route, where could we see Dane Evans go? And at what point will the Ticats release him if they are planning to do so? Well, I think a place that makes plenty of sense then is the Montreal Alouettes. If they're not getting Trevor Harris back, Dominic Davis is gone. The only quarterback under contract for 2023 is Davis Alexander, who was their 4th string quarterback at times. I guess upgraded to the 3rd string after Vernon Adams was shipped out last season. The Alouettes are going to need to bring somebody in. Do they bring in Cody Fajardo, perhaps? But what does that relationship between him and new head coach Jason Maas look like? Do they look to bring in Dane Evans from the Hamilton Tiger Cats? I think Montreal is one of the teams, the biggest question marks right now at the quarterback position this offseason. The Red Blacks have done a nice job, filling out their QB slots this offseason. They re-signed Jeremiah Mazzoli to a restructured contract through 2024. That did pay him more bonuses, supposedly, but also give the team a little bit more cap space. He'll be back this year, back from injury. I'm assuming he will be the starter here for the Ottawa Red Blacks. And they also re-signed Nick Arbuckle to be the backup. That's a really strong 1-2 punch between those two. Nick Arbuckle, I don't believe, is known for being the most mobile quarterback. So perhaps we see the Red Blacks look to bring in a guy like a Dakota Prukop as a third string quarterback to really be mobile, do the short yardage play there. Or do they roll with one of the other guys on the roster like Tyree Adams and Dustin Crum? Saskatchewan Roughriders, all eyes on them with free agency here. Moving on from Cody Fajardo, it seems. We've got Mason Fine, Jake Dolagala back for another season here, both under contract for them for this year. It seems like they are going to be pushing hard to get somebody, a big name coming in, though. And Trevor Harris seems like, if I had to guess as well, it makes sense for them to want to bring in Trevor Harris. He's the most proven quarterback out there on the market. Then he has been known to, have big seasons in the past. So while he, I feel like he's declined a little bit in recent years, he also still had a pretty solid season for the Alouettes last year. So it will remain to be seen if they can get the deal done, but seems like the Riders pushing hard to get Trevor Harris in. The Toronto Argonauts won the Grey Cup last season, but they've got some question marks at quarterback right now. Again, will McLeod Bethel Thompson come back for another year with the team to be their starter there? And what's going to happen with Chad Kelly? There is a lot of hype around Chad Kelly. He came in late in the Grey Cup, a drive or two, got it done, got them to the win there. There was a lot of hype on him coming into last season as well. Do the Argos look to make him their starting quarterback for this season? Does another team like the Riders, try to trade for a guy like Chad Kelly to bring him in to be their starter? Seems like this is a guy that could have a future in the league. A lot of people seem hyped up on him, and it remains to be seen how he fits into the role with the Argos. If they don't have McLeod Bethel Thompson back, do you want to hit your entire season to the unknown of Chad Kelly, or do we see them try to bring in, say, like a guy like Cody Fajardo, perhaps, to have a little bit of camp competition between those two, a little 1A, 1B situation? And finally, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Zach Collaros, MOP, signed for another 3 years through 2025. He is, without a doubt, the starter, of course. And Drew Brown had a productive season, looked good when he came in last year. He will be the backup again for 2023. So they are set at the top two spots here. But the Bombers like their kind of mobile specialists. They like, the Chris Strevler, the Sean McGuire. Last season, it was Dakota Prukop. Can they bring Prukop back again, or do they look to bring in another mobile guy to be that kind of short yardage trick play specialist, so to say? And could a guy like maybe an Antonio Pipkin fit that role for them? Of course, we don't have the insider knowledge on any of these, suggested landing spaces I've mentioned, but those are definitely ones that would make sense to me, and I wouldn't be surprised to see. So that is where we are at the quarterback position for the CFL Free Agency, a week out from the big opening day. Stay tuned tomorrow. We will have our running back preview as well. Take a look at all the running backs available. And then, like I said at the top, make sure you join us February 14th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For Free Agent Frenzy 2023 here on the Canadian Football Countdown.